And if that can be protected, if that can be discovered, then we can bring him back to normal. If we do not intervene, they become insane. Therefore, there is a need to teach both. So today in this country, crisis management is taught only here. Counseling psychology is taught here and also in the university. Obviously, like the Dean said, BCA we started. Now we, in 6 years' time, we have signed a lot of agreements with other foreign universities. Number one is University of Goa, India. Number two is University of North Colorado, USA, that is mostly on psychology. Sichuan University of China on disaster management, crisis management. University of Queensland, Australia, again disaster management. And we have now signed very recently Kagawa University of Shikoku, Japan, again related to crisis. Okay, so we have been associated with many universities of the world, and we will continue to do so. The main aim is to have exchange of ideas, exchange of teachers, exchange of students, so that our experience is also global. Our students, when you pass out from here, you also become global students. Your knowledge will be applicable globally anywhere in the world. That is the key. All right? Now, what is crisis? You know, sometimes we eat up words. We say sometimes without understanding it. Sometimes we think that we understand it, but we don't understand. And we never question also. This is our habit. Right? That's why I wanted to tell you what is the difference between crisis and the disaster. Why didn't you say crisis management instead of disaster management? Or disaster management instead of crisis management? Now, crisis, it is a difficult or dangerous situation that needs serious attention. If you don't give your attention, something very big is going to happen. It's already in the process. Right? A situation with the distinct possibility of a highly undesirable welcome. If you know that a tiger is approaching you, what will happen to you? It's coming. 1 inch, 2 inch garde. That is a crisis situation. Jumtyo bhane ke bho? Disaster. Right? Okay? Layman's language. So crisis is a crucial or decisive point or situation, especially a difficult or unstable situation involving an impending change. Change in a most undesirable way. You wish that you were not there, but you are there already. Okay, this is crisis. Nepal in crisis. Amazing. We live in a crisis zone. हामी साढे माथि बसेका छौँ, but we don't realize it. So उठ्यो भने लड्छौँ, पल्ट्यो भने लड्छौँ, जे गरे पनि लड्छौँ. But we think that we are in a plain land sitting there comfortably. It's not the case. Particularly, we live in crisis. One is seismic zone. We'll see that later. Monsoon zone. Third one is environmental impact. Gary said Delhi is in trouble. When you have an environmental problem, it doesn't recognize the international border. Right? If India is suffering, doesn't mean that we will not suffer. So we may also suffer. There are indications that the pollution from Delhi is moving towards Nepal. It's not our creation, but we are going to be victimized. Alright? So that is crisis. Other one is endemic and epidemic. There are so many diseases we suffer, and so many people, they die of preventable disease in this country. If that goes out of proportion, then we are in a very difficult situation, in a crisis situation. Now, have we thought
That corporate are in security forces.
sorry?
Corporate are in all the security forces.
All right. So when you have got more people working in a small setup, you are bound to have a problem. But do you know how to solve the problem? So we are coming together to do something positive, constructive, but without realizing that we may land up with a crisis. So should this, and we didn't know how to manage the crisis, now that is closed. Shutting down the industry is not a good thing. But it's happening because we didn't know how to manage the crisis. Other one is developmental. The bulldozers and the spares are made to make roads, but not to destroy the surface of the earth. What, in the name of development, what we are doing is we are ruining our country. We are inviting more problems. The development is not sustainable. So when it is not sustainable, it will invite crisis. So crises are everywhere, but we never teach how to deal with the crisis, right? So these are prevented, mitigated, or you have to live with this. Say, for example, if we are in a seismic zone, if earthquake is inevitable, we should know how to live with the earthquake. Okay? If we are in a monsoon zone, if you want to reap the fruit of the monsoon, then you have to live with the disaster created by the monsoon. So we should know how to coexist. So managing all that disaster is managing a crisis. So disaster, respect of human rights, and response by giving dignity. When you and I become the victim of the crisis. Remember, in 2015, so many people were rendered homeless, so many lost lives. If the lucky ones like us who survived, if we have not helped them, poor thing, those who have barely survived also would have died. So therefore, when you are extending your help, do it with human dignity. Respect their dignity, not only you. You may also get reduced to that position. If somebody throws food at you, do you think you like it? If the same food is given in a plate with some sort of affection, it makes a big difference. Okay? So we deal with such things in terms of mitigation, all right? Okay. Now, this is the map of has all red marks. So we are already in crisis. Every year, I think 2 or 3 days back, we had one 5-Richter scale earthquake struck somewhere, right? So every second day, third day, we keep on hearing. Now we are quite used to it. But it's a question of one, a big one. If we get one exceeding 7 Richter scale, when there is a scale 5, scale 7 is very close. Should that happen, then it is a crisis, and we should deal with that also. Okay? Now, this is what happened in 2015 earthquake in Lokanpur. Very close to us. So, impact is so vivid. Imagine if you are there in the middle. So, it is, the probability of this is there. Next. Now, this is the picture I took in Sindhupalchok on the second earthquake. I had gone out to make an assessment of the first earthquake. When I was in the field, then the second earthquake struck. So I was taking a photograph of a village which had 60 houses. The first earthquake had done enough. Only half of them were standing. With the second earthquake, it was all flattened. So this is one of the villages. None of the houses were standing. Luckily, we were not. Unluckily, some people were here. Okay? Next. Look at this. Again, this I took a picture. Not to give you a lesson on this. Out of curiosity, I've taken it. I was in United Nations Development Fund, UNDP. There was a meeting going on there, and they had predicted in 2013 that a big earthquake is due in Nepal, like Jay said. They knew. But we all said, पछि हुने कुरो अहिले यसले के भन्छ भन्छ बरु खैरे आएर. That's how we take it. पछि हुने कुरो अहिले के अलि भात खान छैन. This is our attitude. And what they said there was, if the earthquake that is struck with the epicenter in Gorkha, close to 8 Richter scale, if that would have taken place in Kathmandu, the prediction was that 100,000 Nepalese would have perished in 1 minute. This is the UN giving a briefing to all UN personnel in 2013. And the same gentleman who was giving the briefing said that when 100,000 are dead, then you'll have more than 200,000 injured. And if we do not attend those injured ones, and the doctors don't see them within 24 hours, half of them would be dead also. It means if that epicenter had been here, we would have seen in one day 200,000 dead. This country or the capital doesn't have a capacity either to bury or burn this 200,000. 10 हुँदा त त्यति छ. 2 lakh. And if we cannot manage this dead body, what will happen? Endemic epidemic. This was the prediction. And this country, we have not produced a single crisis manager. Crisis was knocking your door and we're laughing at it. That is the reason why we started this institute. So let it be a contribution to the nation, a very modest way. By our initiative, if 2 lives are saved, we'll be very happy. That was the basic reason why we started crisis management. And crisis management master level program was first introduced in 2013. When we heard that, we like-minded people, we came together and we started this institute. Okay? Next. Now the monsoon. Every year we get monsoon and every year we forget it. We get very heavy rainfall. And what we have been doing is, instead of coexisting with the flood, we challenge the river. We go and build a house next to the river. And we blame the river. Right? आफू ज्वरो खोज्दै जान्छ वहाँ. हैन? This is how we are. Because we didn't teach. Right? This is the impact of monsoon. Next one. Pathetic stuff. Next. उता बनाम रोडै छ, यता बनाम खोलो छ, त्यही पनि कोची के गरेर बनाएर राख्यो यस्तो के हालेर खुस्की हाल्यो. Right? Next one is endemics and epidemics. Thank God this smallpox business is gone now, eradicated. I've seen with my own eyes people suffering from this. And when it comes in a big way. We are still vulnerable. So therefore, endemic in epidemics in remote areas, should it happen like bird flu, Ebola, it spreads in no time. If we do not control it on time, a disaster is inevitable. So when such things happen, we should help them. This is the help rendered in 2015 earthquake by a military man left on top. There's a small baby which was simply taken out from the buried house. Almost dead baby. When he was given a help, he came back to senses, and later on he was given to the mother, and both mother and the child are laughing. Had it been 5 minutes late, this boy would have died. So we should know. That's why we teach humanitarian assistance in this institution under crisis management. Right? Next. No. When there is a crisis, what happens is, when there is a crisis like a red mark there, we have got a lot of people wanting to help us. I remember in 2015 earthquake, when I was in Barabise, there was one very tall, lanky fellow, this American, who was distributing rice sacks to the locals in Barabise. And the Barabise fellows, they were just collecting rice, bag. त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ के यहाँ लिएर आफ्नो बच्चाले ल्याएर बच्चो माथि बसिरहेको छ रिजर्भ गरेर त्यसले अर्को ल्याएर फेरि अर्को बच्चो गरेर बसिदियो. And there are so many people who have never got one. Here he was collecting 20, and there are people who didn't even have one. So I went to this gentleman and then I asked him, sir, where do you come from? And who are you? He said, I am a major, I came from California. Then how come you are here? He said, in California, when your TV screened the dead people here because of the earthquake, the Californians were crying. They wanted to help, but they didn't know how to help. So he said, I volunteered. I couldn't bring goods. So what I did was I took the money. They had faith on me. I took the money. I came here. I bought goods for the victims, and I hired a truck. And I came here, I saw all houses damaged, so I started distributing them. Then I said, I am a general of Nepal Army, can I give you advice? Yes, sir. He said, sir, this is the connection between military. When you know that someone is senior talking to you, so I had an advantage. So I told him, stop. He stopped. I said, you want to do good things, don't you? Yes. So stop here and distribute in an area where people haven't got it. Here people have already got it. And we went and distributed. Why did the Californians cry when we are dying here? It's humanity. The activities. Because our future crisis managers tomorrow, they should be useful in any part of the world. Next. Let me talk about crisis. I've already spoken. Next. Okay, the students like you. We have who have just passed your college, BA, BSc, BSW, whatever you have done, you have come here. You are a fresher. Like you have lost your momentum. Other one, undergraduates who have taken some break. BA pass गरियो थाकिएको 2 वर्षपछि पढ्नुला भनेर बसेका. Now they are come back. So we have lost the momentum, but they have a strong desire to learn. Third one is government and ministries. Like overseas students, you have noticed we have got one girl from Germany who is going to be one of your colleagues, and also we are going to have one more. So we have a mix. We have like Naomi, who hailed from Japan. She has finished, and there are quite a number that have gone back. why we want to bring them here is they would bring some experience with them. Why we want the army and police is we want them to bring experience with them. So that the learning becomes not only vertical, me talking to you and you taking notes. Also when you talk to them, they talk about their experience. How I say security forces and also we have government officials also.